It's frustrating. I tell you, you're sitting there, you've got a vacation, a travel plans, you're all ready to be a tourist, you're going to go out, you're going to have fun. At the last second, who knows, you lose your passport, the money doesn't come through, some coronavirus just waylays all the plans, and, it gets to be a little bit chaotic. It's frustrating, it's aggravating, it's like dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. What are you going to do? Sometimes you just have to stay home, and the best way to do that and still get into the vacation mindset is to watch a movie thereof, and that's what we're talking about on this edition of Voca Vacay. That's Marie over there.
That's Frank.
And we are starting with Voca Vacay right now.
Prepare yourself for the bestest, amazingest, and overall super duperest travel program in the history of ever. Vacation like it's your job and live vicariously through yourself. It's time now for Voca Vacay.
Well, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you're probably wondering why we're dressed to the nines. And for those of you who aren't watching and who are just listening, we're dressed to the nines. For this episode, we had to get fancy.
It's a visual image.
Because, this episode is talking about vacation and travel movies.
Sure.
We're fans of movies.
Absolutely.
I love watching the Oscars.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love watching all the award shows.
I'm like the one guy who doesn't watch the Oscars.
Oh, I like watching everything about it. The red carpet.
Nah.
I like watching who shows up and what they wear and then what they say and the speeches. And I love all the rigmarole. It's a good crossword word.
Yeah, you watch. Here's how bad it is. Not only does you watch the Oscars, you watch the pre-show fashion 4-hour warm-up to the Oscars. And to her credit, that's fine, because there are some people watch not just the Super Bowl, but the pregame and the pre-game to the Super Bowl. It starts at 9 a.m. So you do the same thing with the Oscars. It's an all-day affair.
Well, sure. And it's because, as a lot of people know, this is part of our profession.
Yes.
We make films. We teach filmmaking. We've made a few award-winning documentaries.
Yes.
And so now we are proud to announce. So one of the reasons we're dressed up is because it's a movie episode. But also, we're proud to announce that we won an award for our podcast.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Okay, all right.
We actually have hardware.
We want to actually thank all of our listeners for this, because you guys inspire us, and we hope we also inspire you. And we put the podcast out for a communicator award, and hot dog, got one. So here, hold this up to the camera.
Okay. In
camera.
In case you're lying, you can check this out on YouTube.
So I'll describe it. It's an award of distinction. It's a silver award, and it's for the podcast on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail.
Yes.
And it's a sort of angelic, figure holding its arms up with its waist, it's bent back, sort of like in an arch.
Arcing backward. Yeah.
And it's really pretty. And the Communicator Awards are really great because they recognize content of all forms: web content, film, television, audio, podcasts.
They're really broad. It's a great award.
Yeah, and they're all about storytelling.
Yes.
And so I really love that we got this award. So what does it say?
It says Communicator Awards 2020, Marie Barnes,
Woohoo!
Award of Distinction, Voca Vacay Bourbon Trail Lifestyle Podcast Episode. And let's point out, it's under her name because the way it works with Communicator Awards, you get the one, and then later on, after they do that initial round, they say, okay, is there anyone else on the crew, which would be me, that wants one as well?
Yes.
And so we'll get one for me. But we won't do the whole dress up thing for that. We just wanted to let you know. Thank you, Communicator Awards. And thanks to all you guys for supporting us.
Oh my gosh, thanks for listening, because it means the world to us.
Yeah, because otherwise we're just doing this to know what. Oh, I'll take
I
this
poured
one.
us some champus.
We got
some champagne.
Thank you.
And so here you go. Clink, clink.
Clink, clink. All right.
Clink, clink.
All right, here we go.
All right.
So this is toasting.
This is to you, everyone out there listening, and also to you, honey.
And to you, dear. Thank you very much. All right.
You look great today.
And you're fun to travel with, too.
I know.
Yeah.
This is why it works, people. This is why it works.
Mm-hmm. I got the bubblies, which means...
Yum.
Should we start?
Yeah.
Let us start. Anyway, here's the thing. We're talking about, and this is a debate, and gosh knows, Marie and I never fight.
Oh.
Ever.
Lies.
Here's the deal. Originally, this was called vacation movies, because when you're... Look, we always tell you to live vicariously through yourself, and we mean it. Go have fun. Go enjoy things. But sometimes you just can't get up and go. You can't always do that. So this time we're telling you to live vicariously through movies and travel logs. And we had this whole discussion about what is a vacation movie, what is a travel movie, and the difference between a vacationer and a traveler and a tourist, basically.
Oh, yeah. And it's like right now, you're kind of stuck at home watching a lot because of COVID. And so this is a very timely podcast, I think. I mean, episode of our podcast. Because, you want to not like forget how much you love to travel. You still want to get inspired. And so watching movies about it is super fun.
Yeah. And so so we're going to use these words, vacation, travel, and tourism, not interchangeably, but there is overlap.
Yeah.
So, and when we get to our movie picks about the best vacation movies you can look at, some of them might be more travel-esque than vacation-esque, but we will get to the spirit of it, all right?
Cool.
So here's where we started. IMDb, which is a big internet website, and it stands for IMDb. It's Internet Movie. Is that it? You know this. I don't know this.
Internet Movie Database.
Okay.
Yeah. Look us up.
Marie has a page on it.
You do too.
Okay, well. But IMDb, here's the deal. IMDb is the go-to resource. It's a little bit tricky to use if you just say, I want to watch a vacation movie, and here's why. When you do input things into the search bar, you look at things. I typed in the word travel as a keyword. It's like, okay, let's look for movies with travel.
Yeah.
3,846 options.
Stop it.
No, I kid you not. So then I went to tourist.
Oh my gosh.
1,035 options.
Okay, that's better.
I got a lot of free time, but come on.
Oh, MG. I cannot even.
So let's start going into this. Anything that is a science fiction movie, you could say is travel.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Because it's in space. Ain't James Bond movie is travel.
Right.
Because he's traveling.
Right.
So,
but that's not necessarily being a tourist or vacationing.
So let's start with one of the Hallmark series of all times about vacationing.
Yes.
And it's called, this is one of your favorites.
I love European Vacation. I love Christmas Vacation. I love all of the National Lampoon vacation movies. There, I said it. Period. End of story.
Vacation came out in 1983. If you haven't seen this, oh, honey, really? You haven't seen Vacation? That's like required viewing. Vacation, European Vacation came out 2 years later in 85, then Christmas Vacation in 89.
Oh my gosh.
It's still funny to me. I love it. Vegas Vacation came out a lot later in 97.
Yeah.
So there's 4. Actually, there's 5, and let me explain. There is a new version of Vacation that came out in 2015.
Yeah.
And that was with Ed Helms and
Christina Applegate.
Love them both.
Oh, it's
hysterical.
so funny. Oh.
And here's the great thing about that. He plays Rusty, who was the boy in the Vacation movies. He plays him as a grown-up, and they try to replicate the Wally World Vacation
from the
1983.
Yeah.
It's
really, so good.
Yeah. So it's one of those movies you look at and just go, it's pretty flawless, I think.
It's the one that you and I agree on is like the top before we start to get into a debate about each one of our favorites. Like I have like a top 5, you have a top 5, but we always end up coming back to this and being like, that is so hysterical. Like you can't even put it in the top 5 for us. We want to talk about other films in our top 5 because we both agree on that one so much.
Right. And so and here's our criteria. And let me get this out there before we go into more sort of, travel, tourist, vacation movies. What is a movie? Here's my criteria for a good movie. If it's on, will I watch it?
Yeah.
That's it. That's how many Oscars did I don't care.
Same.
If I enjoy watching the movie, if it is a movie that's like, I've got to cook some, that's on. I got to watch this now.
Yeah.
That to me is a hallmark of a good movie. And the vacation movies, honestly, if they're on, it's like,
I got to stop and watch some of it.
I'm going to
just
watch
because.
These things. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of probably we'll get a lot of feedback on this episode because everyone is so opinionated on movies.
Oh, sure.
And there's a lot of debate about what constitutes a good film or a bad film. Here's the thing. I watch bad films too. I learn just as much from them. And it kind of makes the good films like you appreciate them more.
But at the same time, last night, and I mean this in all seriousness, last night we watched Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Yes!
And I love this movie.
It's so funny. But here's the thing. We've seen it a bunch.
I've seen it a couple times, yeah.
And I know it's that some people don't gravitate toward that kind of humor. I love sort of remakes or remakes of biopics or biopics or whatever. I just said biopic, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, but here's the thing. We had just watched the Walk the Line movie because you hadn't seen it. And
No,
I
I had
said,
not.
you need to see this because we've been listening. We put a Pandora station on.
Right.
We were like, let's put on a new Pandora station, something we don't normally gravitate to.
Johnny
so we were
Cash.
like Johnny Cash. And so it made a
Right.
whole like station on like country, like older country music. So anyway, I was like, you have not seen Walk the Line. Let's watch it. Oh my gosh. Then we watched the Dewey Cox
Walk
story
Hard.
and it was like, it was even funnier.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to, say anything that was funny about Johnny Cash's life. A lot of it was tumultuous and thank God he was on this earth as an artist.
Yeah.
Appreciate him so much.
Right.
But like, it was like, they just parodied things so well in Dewey Cox. Like it was just so funny.
And listen, and that's why we're bringing up, it's that, one movie is a great movie for one reason, and then Walk Hard is a totally great movie for a totally different reason.
Yeah.
So that's why we're saying we're just not real snooty about, this is
Right.
Lawrence of Arabia, and Citizen Kane was a journey through a life.
No, we both went to film school.
Yeah.
And I went through the whole thing of, if it is not French, it does not count.
What is the
Let
what
me-
does the film count on?
Let me smoke my cigarette and tell you if it is not in black and white and I cannot hear the projector, then it is blah.
These people
So,
drink
no.
coffee and eat baguettes. Which
Don't get me
do
wrong. I love
neither.
all that stuff too.
Yeah.
But I need a good comedy or a good gratuitous action film.
Yeah.
Like I love random explosions.
Yes.
I just have to say. Like in the theater, they make me happy. Like I'm
Yes.
like, whoa. It's just like fun.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So James Bond movies, same thing. Jason Bourne movies.
Yeah.
You travel. Let's look at our list because there are a
Okay,
couple
okay.
of things here. This is not our top 5 list, by the way. We've each compiled an independent top 5 list of what we think are the best 5
Yeah.
each favorite.
And we'll talk
vacation
about
movie.
that. Yeah.
But here are some of the quintessential ones: Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. John Candy, Steve Martin. Can't lose with this.
Love it.
That's a great movie.
Oh, it's just so like it's the odd couple on
Yeah.
vacation. Well, not even on vacation, just traveling.
Yeah.
Because they're stuck together and have to do it. It's so amazing. The tension and drama is just so amazing because you've been traveling and been around people. You're like, oh God, I can't wait to get off this bus.
Can't wait to.
off
And
this
you're
train,
stuck
off
with the
this
same
plane.
guy.
They have 27 bags with them, and you're only allowed 3 carry-ons. Like you're just like, I just can't right now.
I think it's great.
It's hysterical.
That is a good movie. Next that I put Elf.
Oh
Here's the-
yeah.
Elf is, it's more of a fish out of water movie than
It
a
is.
travel movie, but he does travel. Will Ferrell's character does travel from the North Pole to get down to New York City.
Right.
Kind of a stretch,
Yeah.
but it's still a fun movie.
I feel like that movie is anyone that's visited a big city for the first time, and
Oh,
B,
yeah.
New York is a big city for first time. Like even I was like, when I went to New York City for the first time, I've been several times. I go and see shows or whatever. Have had girls trips and whatnot, gone to conferences. The very first time it was so overwhelming.
Right.
I did not know that you had to, like, it's like, no, there is a pace on the sidewalk.
Yep.
You must keep up with it.
Yes.
People are here to do business.
Yes.
This is a fast town. There is no moseying.
Right.
Like, it's like, and it's like little things like that you learn.
Yeah.
You learn those, like, New York City for the first time was like, ah. And so I totally identify with being the fish out of water for him, especially from such
Yeah.
a foreign place
No
that's
one-
like
yeah, no
the
one-
North Pole. Like,
Ah. No one moseys in New York. Yeah, I've been to New York precisely, I guess, once.
oh,
New
yeah.
York City. Yeah, when we
Yeah.
went a couple years ago. That's the only time I've actually. I mean, you stop off at the airport. I've caught flights there or whatever, but to actually walk
Yeah.
around and go, yeah, and we're there for 4 days, something
Yeah.
like that.
So much to love.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So Elf is not really a travel. I just thought it was like, yeah, that's kind of cute.
Well, travel often is fish out of water, so I
Mm.
think it totally counts.
Um,
Anytime you go somewhere for the first time,
yes.
sure.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
See, now that's on my top 5.
Yeah.
That movie is my jam.
You love this movie.
I love this movie. It's just because like there's so many things about it that come up in everyday life that remind me of it. Like when you and I are watching a TV show or a movie, we're flipping through the channels, whatever, and you hear the beginning of CSI or like whatever. It's like any TV show on
Yes.
the beginning is dun dun, and I look at you and I go, ominous tones.
We need ominous tones.
He's like, all I do for a living is make ominous tones. And that's not the direct quote, but it's literally like,
Jason Segel, who's the main actor,
Yeah.
his gig is that he creates background theme music, atmospheric music
for like
for
crime
for like
TV shows.
CSI and
Yeah.
CIS type shows.
So hysterical.
We just need some ominous tones.
It cracks me up every time. So there's like every time I look at you, and I'm like ominous tones.
Ominous tones.
Or like every time we're like, we gotta take the dogs out, but should we take them out now or should we wait an hour? We have to plan it around the weather. I look at you or you look at me, and one of us inadvertently always says,
"The weather outside is weather."
It's hysterical, and I'm like, this movie is just. It's my jam.
I love it.
I love the humor in it.
Other comedies, other humorous things that we have. The Hangover trilogy.
I love it.
1, 2, and 3. We actually saw The Hangover again earlier this week. My gosh, we watch a lot of movies.
Well, right now we're stuck in watching movies.
Yeah,
we watch them anyway.
We
but
do.
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber.
Love it.
Love it. Little Miss Sunshine, which is not
Love
a
it.
comedy, but it's a great movie.
It's so good.
That one, I would watch that again.
That dance at the end just, it just kills me every time because I'm like cringing. And then at the same time, I'm like, you go girl. But then I'm like cringing. And then I'm like, oh. You get the feels.
Blues Brothers.
Love it.
Love it. Okay. Zombieland.
Oh, well, that has a special place in my heart.
Okay. I'm going to sit here and let Marie take over for a brief 30 seconds because...
I love that movie because, well, number one, it's a great movie, but also I worked on it and it had a great production staff, a great director. Like it had great heads of departments. Like it was the best film that I worked on.
And she was, and Maria's done some behind the scenes work on films. That's one of the films. So she's not one of the zombies in Zombieland. Okay. Let's be clear about that. But you were actually in one of the offices.
I worked in the production office. I worked in accounting and I worked around all of the people that did payroll and accounts payable and receivable and the producers. And
everybody's nice. And
everybody, it was the best. And I loved walking down the hall and seeing the zombies, like seeing the props and the wardrobe and like the dummies. And like, it was just the dummy zombies. Like it was just really cool.
And we should also point out one quick little factoid that the ending entire scene sequence, but the last 20 minutes of this thing, which is shot as an amusement park.
Yeah.
I actually lived near that amusement park.
Right.
For years.
So when we met, they had come down. I was in Atlanta working on it. I did not know you then.
No.
But you were down and they had to contact the school you were at to see if there were any students that wanted to help out because down in Valdosta, Georgia.
Yes.
Wild Adventures. That's where they shot a bunch. And it's weird because I met you and I was like, oh yeah, I remember processing paperwork on that. Like it was so funny. It was a weird connection.
Yeah, it's one of those small world things like, oh yeah, that's Zombieland. You were on that. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Here's the thing that people don't know, and I don't know.
What's that?
I hope this is okay to say. Who knows? I don't think I signed an NDA or anything, but like at the end, the whole Bill Murray sequence, which, by the way, Bill Murray is one of my all-time favorite actors.
Oh, absolutely.
So this is nothing against him, but it was originally written for Joe Pesci, and I have that version of the script.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh.
So, like, it is interesting to read it because it would have had a completely different tone.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, either way, it would have been funny. But, like, I'm glad it was Bill Murray just because he's, like, one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah,
but I don't think they didn't pick him at first for some reason. I think the writers probably just were, and you know what? Maybe if the writers ever hear this, they can let me know. But, like, I think it was just, that's what they wrote at first.
Yeah, just visualize that. Like, and here's the deal. I can totally see a Joe Pesci version of this.
Yeah, for
That'd
sure.
be kind of fun.
I know.
Okay.
So anyway, there's that. But it's a good travel movie.
Yes.
Even though you're traveling to save your life and to escape zombies. But I like the comedy in it as well. I have a theme. I mean, I'm noticing a theme here. Most of travel vacation movies, I think that most people like are humorous, but there are some dramatic ones.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
There are. Well,
in my top 5 even, there's a dramatic one.
Well, here's the deal. We're starting to turn the corner here, as you mentioned that, because
good segue.
Now, not perfect, because not so much a comedy movie, but it's a I don't know how you get Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a comedy, but here's the deal. Spoiler alert, you've seen it, okay? You've seen The Wizard of Oz by now. And I'm trying to think, it's like, I guess that's a travel movie.
It is. I mean, it's a journey. It's a journey. It's a character going on a journey. Like
you're following the yellow brick road.
Right. I mean, it's definitely a travel movie.
And there's Munchkins.
I wouldn't call it a vacation movie though.
Yes, Munchkins.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I love what's that? What do they actually say? Do you remember? It's
I'm thinking Oompa Loompa.
I know. I get them mixed up all the time. Oh my God. But wait, Could Charlie and the Chocolate Factory also be a travel movie? It's kind
well,
of.
you're traveling through
maybe
a
not.
chocolate factory, but it's a
True.
satellite. Nah,
I don't think so. I'm taking it back.
Gosh, what do the
Yeah, but they also have like it's a I want to look it up. It's a quintessential like my
Because the
mom
wonderful
says
things he
it all
does.
the time. Yeah.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Okay. You know what?
for those of you watching
I'm
on
gonna try
YouTube,
and look
I am
this
not
up.
doing voice distortion at all. I'm just singing like a munchkin. You try it sometime.
This is what I live with. What were they called?
Munchkins.
Munchkins.
Munchkins, like the snack.
Oh yeah. Okay, keep talking.
Boy, that'd be. I just realizing how horrible it'd be. You know, you eat Munchkins as a snack now. How come there's no snack called Oompa Loompas? Really?
That's a
you know?
really good
No,
point.
I'm just saying because a lot of people have seen the Willy Wonka and the Charlie Chocolate Factory movies too, because there's more than one. Because one had Gene Wilder, the other one had Johnny Depp, and they're both good in their own way.
All right, here's the Munchkin Land song lyrics.
Okay.
Not even kidding.
Follow.
You can't play it because of copyright stuff.
Right.
But I'm just singing The Wizard of Oz is one
Because.
How long is this thing?
I don't know. This is really like a bit much. Okay, we need to move on. Oh no, it's Ding Dong, the witch is dead.
Which good witch?
Yes. That's part of it. Yes. Our listeners are going to be like, how do you not
Okay,
know
people
this?
are fast forwarding past this podcast. Let's move on. Anyway, yes. Wizard of Oz, good stuff. However, okay, we turned the thing on just slapstick type comedies.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of the other ones.
Okay.
Up in the Air with George Clooney.
That did not make my top 5, but it is one of my favorite.
Great movie, well directed, well acted. Not really, he's traveling.
Yeah.
He's not vacationing.
It's a great movie to watch how to travel correctly,
Oh
honestly.
my gosh. Learn how to pack. We're going to do an entire show on how to pack because people do it so wrong, it's irritating. Captain Fantastic.
Oh, I don't know that.
We've seen this is the one Viggo Mortensen, the guy from Lord of the Rings. He grabs his kids. They live off the grid, takes the kids, and they have to go see their dying mother who's in a hospital.
Oh, okay.
And it's a pretty powerful movie, not a
Yeah.
comedy. Logan.
Love it.
Logan, yeah, clearly because Logan, they traveled from basically they lived on the Mexican border and they had to get up the Canadian border where the
Sure.
mutants were. Okay. Rain Man,
Love it.
travel movie on the road.
Yep.
Okay. Thelma and Louise.
Well, it's one of those, again, quintessential if you go to film school films that everyone should watch and study about feminism and just, a female's journey and, being against the man when you're a woman and like just trying to find your way in life as a female. I mean, it's one of those. It's not my favorite because I couldn't identify with either character very much at the time that I watched it, but I was younger.
Right.
So now that I'm older, I'm glad you brought it up because now I want to rewatch it.
I could do that.
Yeah, but anyway, you're probably right. It is a travel movie because they're on the lam.
They're on the road.
Yeah, and
Oh
they're
my
trying
gosh.
they're trying to get away because, well, not to give it up. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows of
If
this
you haven't
film.
seen it by now, okay, we're free to
Yeah.
give spoiler alerts. Come on, people. It's Thelma and Louise.
Right. So one of them commits a crime
Yeah.
against, I think, was it her husband who like was beating her?
It
or
was
something?
some
It was
dude.
something
Let's
bad.
call it some dude.
Yeah, and so she kills him and they're on the lam. But the whole movie is about redemption and like, what it's like to like, have a presence as a woman and take up for yourself. So in that aspect of it, I love it. But it's not one of my favorite films, I have to say.
Well, a couple of points on this. One of the lesser known actors in that is a guy named Brad Pitt. Good luck with that guy getting a career
Who's
after
that?
movie. Don't know.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Let me digress.
No. We're okay. Fine.
Yeah, so you went to high school with him.
Yeah.
You actually had classes with
I
him.
know the guy.
You do.
We've met.
So, like, I mean, it's funny to joke about, but it is kind of funny that you say it like, oh, that hack.
That hack.
We made a pizza in home ec.
I hope he gets a film career someday because I don't know. He's never referenced in pop culture anymore.
One of you is the most famous person in the world, and the other one is doing this podcast.
I'm not on speed dial with the guy, okay? Let's put it this way. I know Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt doesn't know me.
Did you actually take home ec?
It's not called home. It's called Bachelor Living.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Home ec was the girls' class. Bachelor Living. This is a whole digression
well,
here.
it would
but
be
anyway,
different now. It would be different now because it would all be mixed up.
Yeah.
I wonder what they call it now.
But back in the
anyway,
day, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the boys took Bachelor Living. The girls took home economics.
So, yeah.
And they taught the exact same subject matter, by the way.
Was this his first film before he never made it? Is that what we're getting at? No, he was in something else
I
before
think
this.
he was in California before that, and
He was in California, but I didn't know if that was before this.
I could not tell you, but they're both
Anyway,
early in the career.
Yeah, you could look it up.
Yeah, but after that,
Well, he went absolutely nowhere.
yeah, really.
We should tag him in this. # Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and then he'll call and say, Frank, I remember you owe me $20. I'll be like, what? When did I borrow? Probably did.
I got
okay.
a D because your pizza sucked.
Moving on. But you bring up a great point. Let's go back to, because about Thelma and Louise, final point about that. Anything that's now I don't want to say a crime caper, because capers that ensue, that's like hijinks ensue. That's not the case.
Sure.
But now I'm thinking like Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
Yeah.
I had lots of travel in that. Bonnie and Clyde, which is a classic movie.
Love.
Are these travel movies? I don't know. And again, that's one part of the debate that's kind of fun for us is like, what is travel, what's not travel? But when you talk about Thelma and Louise, yeah, anything that involves a bank robbery and getting away. Huh.
We are the Lollipop Kids.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
Yes.
It just hit me.
That's not Thelma and Louise.
We are the Lollipop Kids.
Me, the lollipop
Okay.
kids.
Okay.
Sorry, we're jumping around a lot. Movies excite us.
Yes, they do. Lost in Translation.
Oh, that's in my top 5,
That's
and I
in your
love it
top 5.
so much.
And finally, one here. And now these are all either feel good or drama. That's not saying you can't have a good scary movie.
Oh, yeah.
As a travel vacation
Yes.
movie. Midsommar.
Oh, that was so creepy.
It is great.
I'm not sure that I agreed with the absolute ending of it, because there's an ending and then there's an absolute ending.
Yeah.
But the whole rest of it was like, whoa.
It is intense.
What am I watching?
It's one of those movies that you're watching at the end, you're just like, what was that?
Also good,
Really great movie.
good, strong feminism type themes. And so, yeah, I enjoyed that.
Excellent director. Director of photography is great. Everyone was just dead on that movie.
There was a little bit about at the very, very end, the storyline I didn't agree with. Some things didn't add up. And,
Yeah.
I pay attention to those
I loved
things,
it. It's
but-
actually in my top 5. Spoiler
Oh
alert,
my
it's in my top 5.
gosh, is it really?
Yeah. I love this guy.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Ari Aster. I love him that much.
Oh, I
This
know
is a
you
top
like
5.
him.
His work
Yeah.
is so good, and that is a top 5 movie for me.
Okay, so I will let you talk more about that later. I want to ask, because I didn't look at this list before we started today's episode.
Right.
Speaking of either it could be like a scary movie or it doesn't have to be comedy or drama.
Okay.
Going back to that initial statement that you made,
Yes.
is on this list Cabin in the Woods on here?
Oh, wow.
Because is it? Because if it's not, then I'm adding it.
It's not a travel movie, but they do go up for a vacation.
They do, and it is horrific.
Cabin in the Woods. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that.
I love it.
I don't know if I can put it in my top 5. I like my top 5 as it is.
No, but I mean, like, I didn't know if you had it in the
No,
general
no,
ones
no.
we were
I did
just
not.
talking
I did not.
about.
But Cabin in the Woods is a
I
great
think
movie.
it totally counts.
It does. It does, because they're going on a vacation. They're going on a weekend in the woods.
And it's an exception to the comedy vacation movies
Right.
rule because it's a horror film.
If you have not seen Cabin in the Woods,
yeah.
highly, highly, highly recommend.
Oh, mind bending. I mean, it's just
It's
out
so
there.
well done. And
I had to watch it and then watch it again with subtitles. We saw it in the theater.
yes.
But then when I watched it again after it had been released after its theatrical run, I watched it again. Then I remember watching it again with the subtitle. I got something different every time.
Right.
And so it just added to everything that I was learning about that story.
It's really
It's very
well done.
complex.
Yes. For a simple movie or a simple, because the first time you see it, it's like, oh, this is going to be, it's like, it is not at all what you expect.
Right.
Not at all. It's a brilliant script.
So hold on. I'm digressing one more time.
Yeah.
Speaking of horror films that travel vacation horror, now that we're on this,
Okay.
Evil Dead. What? And I'm talking
my
about the original
gosh.
Sam Raimi, like
Bruce Campbell.
Oh my gosh. They're going on it's the same thing.
Yeah, they are.
Does this count? Okay, well, maybe we should let the listeners decide.
If you're watching me on YouTube right now, just see me making a face. I'm like, it's less attractive than it sounds. I know it doesn't sound that nice. Man,
Yeah.
hang on.
Yeah. Ooh,
Because now, so now Candleworms is open. All the Friday the 13th movies because they're going to a summer camp.
Well, but they're going to be counselors, right? So that's kind of like
Okay,
job
okay,
related.
okay,
That doesn't really count.
I'll give you that one. Fine. Why? What else you got?
I don't know horror movie wise, but now it's just like this list. Like now I can't stop thinking about movies, and I hope this is what our listeners are doing as well.
Yes.
Like now I'm thinking like going back to just regular, not horror movies. Sideways.
Oh yeah.
That's totally a travel movie.
Yeah, that was.
And
a lot
also
of fun.
it's his vacation.
That's right.
It's his vacation. What was?
Yeah. They're going up to Napa Valley.
Yes. But there was a reason.
Yes.
I just don't remember.
Oh
but
my
anyway,
gosh.
it's very.
Oh my
I
gosh.
really enjoyed it. Some people, it's their favorite film.
Yeah.
And the book was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot. Maybe our listeners can even like write in and be like, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one.
Well, this explains why when you type in travel on IMDb, you get almost 4,000 titles.
Exactly.
For one. And one movie we skipped on our list, and this is it's not in my top 5. And why is this not my top 5? Into the Wild.
I love that movie.
It is Sean Penn directed this one. It's the Christopher McCandless story.
I've read the book too.
John Krakauer book. And John Krakauer is an amazing writer. Oh my God.
One of my very all-time favorite long quotes is from that movie. And it's so long I don't remember it right now. But like, yeah, it's about just experiencing something new
Right.
for the first time and not being afraid of that. And
Yeah.
so I love it.
I'm sorry, I almost said Into Thin Air, which was the book I read by John Krakauer before I read, and that was about Mount Everest climbing.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually one of my favorite books ever.
Wow.
And then he wrote this.
Right.
Or I don't know which one came first, but then I read these back to back, and
Yeah.
holy cow, good writer and a great movie. Sean Penn directed this, and yeah.
Yeah.
So
So good.
Not quite a feel good movie, but it's kind of an
No.
inspirational movie in its own way.
Yeah. It's like, finding yourself
Yeah.
and like thinking about things that shape you and what the person that you become and the person you want to become.
Yes.
Like it's all about, and then, getting back to sort of that connection to nature, which we, surrounded by so much technology, lack so much of these days. And so, yeah, it's got some good themes. He was a complex person as well, though. And he had some unrealistic outlook on,
And if you read the book, I don't want to say the book is
the
better.
book goes into it more.
Yeah, the book is more detailed.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of the backstory there. Read the book, watch the movie, both.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, should we do our top 5?
Okay, sure. Go.
You want me to go first?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, one thing.
Yes.
Into the Wild. One other one that's not in my top 5 that is
Right.
sort of along the same lines as Into the Wild is just the film Wild.
Yes.
With Reese Witherspoon
Yeah.
about,
She's doing I think it's the Pacific Crest Trail.
yes.
I think
and
it's the PCT.
She's trying to overcome some demons in her life and work out who she is. Some of the same themes. And like, just finding your personhood, especially as a woman. And like, yeah.
I like it because it's highly realistic about backpacking, and because we've done
Yes.
Appalachian Trail stuff ourselves. It is, you always pack too much. You always misunderstand. Like, it's like, there's so many things. Like, I'm going to walk with 40 pounds on my back. Oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. No,
Right.
you're not. So there's a lot in there that if you just watch, if nothing else, just watch the first half of it. You'll watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But the first half, as she's just learning, as she's just evolving, it's really good. Great acting by her, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And
So-
just how to deal with things when they go wrong.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes, as an Irish redhead from West Virginia, I'm
s-
like,
you're so-
I'm just done.
You're so even-tempered and mild.
But when you're on, like when nature is against you,
Yes.
literally, you have to keep your cool.
And you're the only one to solve that problem.
Yes, because no one is with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
love
a
it.
good movie. That's
love
good.
it. It's not on my top 5 though.
No.
Okay, so top 5. Let's
Okay,
go.
top 5.
You want to go first?
I'll go first. I'll go
Okay.
first. Number 5, bottom of the top, drum roll. Number 5, Midsommar.
Right.
I love it that much.
Okay.
I think it's really well done. It has a look. It has a style.
Sure.
And I'll tell you right now, if you have not seen it, there is a part that if you watch without taking your eyes from the screen, if you watch this one part, and I will not give this away because I've never seen this movie. Holy moly, it will. Wow.
yeah, it goes right through you.
Yeah, it really does. Number 4, Vacation. Watch this, the new one.
Okay, cool.
The one that came out in 2015 with Ed Helms and Christina Applegate.
Yeah, love
that
it.
one, love it. Number 3, the original Hangover.
Oh, love it.
That's on my short list. Number 2, Up in the Air with George Clooney. I love this movie.
I know you do.
I love this movie so much. And number 1, we have not discussed it, and I'll tell you this one. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. It's the first one in the trilogy.
It was great.
I like it because that is when, in the entire Lord of the Rings, the Tolkien saga, that is the one where there's something new, and it's like it's more of a discovery.
Oh, I love that.
And that is why it's my favorite. I like all three in the trilogy, but that one for me, that is actually my favorite of the three.
Cool.
So,
love it. That's a good list.
Yeah, that is my list. What is yours, my
Okay. My number 5,
Dun, dun, dun,
and
dun,
it's
dun.
dramatic.
Yeah.
It's The Sheltering Sky
Oh.
with Deborah Winger and John Malkovich.
This is an older movie.
Directed by Bertolucci.
Uh-huh.
It's the one. It's about this married couple. They're trying to rekindle their love, and they travel a lot. And there's a great line that is, we're travelers, not tourists. When tourists go out, all they can think about is getting back home.
Right.
Travelers kind of think, well, maybe I'll never make it back home. And it's just very interesting.
love
And they
that.
go on this like journey, and there's just, love affairs and like, jealousy and
Passion
like
and romance.
It's passion and it's just amazing.
I have never seen this movie.
We'll
watch
put it on the list of things that I want you to see because we each have a list of, we haven't seen that.
Yeah.
You need to see this. So
Yeah.
So that's number 5. Number 4 for me is Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah. Oh, you like that movie.
I love this movie. We've already talked about it. Need I say more?
No.
Number 3 is Lost in Translation.
Okay.
I love that movie because it reminds me every time I watch it of, even if there's a language barrier, there's kind of not a barrier if you just experience where you are and you're just in the moment. And that great karaoke scene where Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray are just having the best time with the locals. That to me is everything. Like, and it has nothing to do with not being able to communicate fully.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being a person amongst people, doing a thing, and having the time of your life.
That's really good filmmaking
I
in
just
that one.
love it. It's so amazing. Okay. Number 2 is The Great Outdoors with John Candy. Because my all-time, I'm a fan of food.
Right.
Food. And bourbon.
I knew you're going to
I got to work that into everyone. But anyway, yeah,
bourbon.
No. And so it's so funny, that scene with the old 96er. So they go and they're on vacation, and the whole thing is like John Candy takes his family and his brother shows up and kind of just like thwarts the whole idea of what a vacation is.
Right.
Like, and it just
Right.
becomes this like, this is not what I imagined. And why are you here? We didn't plan for this. And his brother's just so different than him. And in the end, it's because it's, a feel good movie and it's a comedy. Everything gets worked out in the end. It's your typical Hollywood ending.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's happy. But like, they go to dinner and, he has to eat this huge steak.
It's 96
It's
ounces.
96 ounces because you get the meal for free. And then you also get a t-shirt.
But you have to eat the whole thing to get for free. Otherwise, you got to pay for it.
And it's just it's so funny.
The
And
old 96.
sometimes when we're traveling and I like what we're doing, like we're eating somewhere for the first time, like all I can say is ravioli and Genoa.
Yes.
I thought I was going to stuff myself until I was going to pass out. It was so good. And I always think of that scene. It's just hysterical.
Hey, I've never lost weight on a vacation.
Well, and you
Ever.
shouldn't.
No.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to lose weight on vacation. You're going for the wrong reason.
You take care of yourself and do all the things so that you can blow it out when you go on
Yeah,
vacation.
yeah.
That's my whole
Pack
thing.
your loose pants.
Yes. And then my ultimate number 1 favorite, we've
yeah?
talked about it already,
Uh-huh.
is European Vacation. Because I just feel like as Americans, one of the things that we always dream of is, I'd love to go to Europe someday. And I mean, there's all these other places, and some people might not say this, but in general, a lot of people are like, I would love to see Paris. I would love to see the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
I would and you think of these things. And so European Vacation takes you to all these places, and it's just hysterical because talk about being a fish out of water.
Yes.
But then
yes,
also
yes,
trying to do it with your dysfunctional family.
Very dysfunctional
It's
family.
hysterical. Like, it's just everything about travel and vacation on film that is the world. Like, to me, it's just hysterical.
I like that. I like it. I can't. And that's the thing. We can not really argue about this. We can discuss this, but everyone has their own favorites. And your list is great.
Thank you.
Sheltering
is
Sky.
yours.
Thank you. I've got to see the Sheltering Sky one.
Yeah.
I have
Sure.
not seen that.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we agree to disagree. And that we agree to agree sometimes. But, sometimes, it's coming. It's coming. One of our favorite parts of the program here. If you ever disagree with your travel partner or if you bicker on a vacay, well, you know what? We've talked about the movies, but who is the most reliable actor? Who's the go-to actor for travel and or vacation movies? And we have a difference of opinion.
We do.
You want to talk about there here in a second?
Yes, I do.
It's time for Monica versus Joey. Let's hash this out right now.
It's game on. It's time for Monica versus Joey.
Okay, you can't have a good movie about travel and vacation, all stuff, without a good cast. You
True.
got to have one. So, but we've looked and it's like, well, who is a good actor to portray in a travel vacation movie?
Right.
We have two wildly different ideas.
Who is yours?
It's John Candy.
Well, and it's a funny thing because he's the main character in one of my top 5 favorite films that we've just talked about, vacation travel films, in the Great Outdoors. But he's actually not my favorite.
Oh, yeah?
I really, I think just by sheer numbers of how many movies he's been in and just the depth of characters that he has portrayed, I gotta love on some Leonardo DiCaprio right now.
Yeah?
I gotta do it.
Okay.
All right, now.
I'm going to make my argument for John Candy.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Background on this guy. Did you know he was born on Halloween?
I did not know
He was born on
that.
Halloween 1950.
Oh, man.
When he died, he was only 43 years old.
I know. It's such a travesty.
I know. He was in more than 50 movies. Some of them were classic travel movies. I'll just go through the list right now because we talked about The Great Outdoors. He was in Stripes. He was in The Blues Brothers. He was in Vacation, the original one. He was in Summer Rental. He's in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Volunteers, Spaceballs.
Oh, my gosh.
Cool Runnings that had Jamaicans in the Olympics.
Movie.
And he was in Wagons East, which is an old-timey movie about the pioneer days where they go west, you can't handle it, you go back east, and he was the trail master or whatever.
And that's one I haven't seen that you want me to see.
Yes. So the thing about John Candy, I'll give you this. The positives is that it's great stuff.
Right.
The negatives of John Candy movies are this. John Candy plays John Candy.
Sure.
There's not a lot of range in a John Candy movie.
Right.
Every movie,
he had good range as an actor.
Yeah.
He did dramatic scenes very well.
He did, but
yeah.
The guy in Stripes is the guy in Spaceballs, is the guy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, is the guy in The Great Outdoors, is the guy in The Blues. It's the same guy.
Right.
So I would argue for John Candy, as long as you look at John Candy and go, that's totally John. It's like Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson now plays Jack Nicholson.
Well, Joey, you would like consistency.
Yeah. And
That's
the
a Joey thing.
And the Joey in this argument, again, Monica versus Joey in Friends, just, it's John Candy. You know what you're going to get with a John Candy movie. No surprises.
Right.
We're not going for hybrid. We're not going for art.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No,
John
and
Candy's my guy.
As the Monica of this situation, of this conversation right now, like, I want more bang for my buck. I'm like, I want to see something so different and so unique and so amazing each time that's why I pick Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, okay. Make your case.
He's also been in more than 50 movies, and some of them were classic travel movies. Some of them weren't. I mean, like I've loved him since Basketball Diaries or like What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I mean, all these things that he just, like I said before, his like depth as an actor and like his range just really has always impressed me. So travel movies he's been in: Titanic.
Oh yeah, you've probably heard of that one.
Oh, I love it.
It was a huge movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Catch Me If You Can, which is one of my all-time favorite movies in general.
That is,
I just think it's well made.
That would be on my list too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Really great movie. That one's good.
The Beach, which was also really interesting. Aviator. Oh, that's a good story.
Not about travel per se, but Howard Hughes and building the airplane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh, that's a good one too.
Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
The Revenant, which he won the Oscar for.
That's right. That was the Oscar-winning role for him.
And I love that because he basically killed a bear
hollowed
hollowed it out and then lived in it. I'm like, dude. But also, like,
try that sometime.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
But no, and like, again, it's things about films that make us like films. Like the cinematography in that is so stunning, and they didn't use a whole lot of lighting. They used mostly natural.
It was all
light,
natural light. They had to shoot it
in a way. Like, it's just amazing.
Really well done. Good stuff.
Django Unchained,
Yeah, that's a
which I'm
travel.
a fan of Quentin Tarantino films. And no, he's been in. Is that the only Quentin Tarantino film? But he's been in another. No, right?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, that's right. Oh, and I love that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not a travel movie.
Right, that's true.
Ah.
Inception, which is one of your all-time
One
favorites.
that is one of, now take the travel film out of it, but that is one of my top 5, top 10 movies of all time.
Yeah.
I love Christopher Nolan stuff. Too good.
It's so good. We just watched it again the other day.
Yeah, we literally watched that again.
Revolutionary Road, which I loved so much because him and Kate Winslet, the dynamic between them as a couple and just the story, and it's beautiful yet heart-wrenching.
Right.
It's just so amazing.
Yeah.
And it takes place at a certain time in history, and there's a very controversial thing, and
Yes.
it's just two people trying to make a marriage work and get something in life. People, come on, you identify.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So positives about him as an actor. He was nominated for 6 Oscars. I didn't know that.
6?
It was 6.
Yeah.
But he, won for The Revenant.
Yes.
So yeah, I had to, when I looked up, I was like, oh, I didn't know it was 6.
Yeah.
So that's good.
He's got some chops, yeah.
Negatives, not all of them are feel-good vacation movies. But like I said, because on my list, Sheltering Sky,
Right.
you don't have to have a comedy. It can be dramatic and there could be a lot of tension and so
I've
that's
got
fine with me.
Midsommar on my top
That's
5.
true, that's
I mean,
true.
it's not a feel-good movie by any stretch, but
True.
these are movies you want to see.
So yeah, I mean, this is a good Monica versus Joey argument right now, but I think we kind of agree that, whatever you're going for, it's going to be good if, you really gravitate toward that actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have to give Joey credit here. I love me some John Candy.
John Candy's great. Leonardo DiCaprio is
on.
great too.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, 2 totally different types of acting, both well worth your time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're stuck inside and you got to find something to do while you can't vacation on your own.
I know.
How to educate people to better do this. What resource? You're saying, yeah, it's all great, Frank Marie. That's all wonderful about what you're talking about. But we want to know how do we find about travel movies, vacation movies, tourism movies?
Yeah.
Should we give them something to enlarge their travel brain?
Give me a good travel nugget.
It is time right now. You need to know this travel nugget.
Ooh, I like a good travel nugget.
Okay. Upgrade my travel brain.
Mm-hmm.
I would like our listeners to be able to access more information on films because I would love them to chime in more.
Yes.
So where can they go?
IMDb.
Yeah, and we mentioned it before, so tell me what they can do there.
Okay, IMDb, basically what you can do is you can search for any kind of movie. If you say, like, you want Leonardo DiCaprio movies, for example, because Marie was talking about him, you can just type that name in and boom, his entire filmography comes up.
Yeah.
John Candy, the same thing. Or if you can say, I really like the guy who directed, I'm trying to think, Catch Me If You Can. Was that Spielberg?
It
who
was.
did that? Catch Me If You Can. Okay, bad example. We've heard of this guy, but you can just go in and go anything like that. You can also type in the keywords like tourism, or if you say, I don't know, I want a certain location like Paris or something like that.
Yeah.
These things will come up. So
Yeah.
IMDb, I know we've mentioned it before, but as far as a travel nugget goes, you can really get specific if you find a certain genre or a certain actor or a certain theme or a certain element, and that is the go-to place. And check out their stuff, and everything's rated so you can tell if it's a 9.7 out of 10. That's great. But this movie is a 4.1.
That's what we often do is we are like torn between what should we watch tonight?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we kind of want to see both of these, movie A, movie B.
Right.
But let's see which one has the higher rating and start with it.
Yes.
Like we often do that.
Yeah. So it really helps, especially if you go to like Redbox.
Yeah.
Hey, these movies came out on Redbox this week. What do we want to watch? Which one's rated higher? This is a 7.1. This one's a 2.
Yeah, because Redbox has its own rating system. I
Yes.
trust IMDb more just because it's further reaching and there are more movie professionals on there.
And you can also get into there and read like the continuity goofs. You can find out the budget. You can find out it was a good movie as far as the critics are concerned or the users are concerned. You do a lot of research with that one. And we got pages on that.
Yeah.
So check us out. But no, it's not. That's an aside thing. The thing is that it is a good database, basically.
Yeah, it is.
And you can find anything there.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Wait, we've got to do one more thing in this program. Because every single time, every fortnight, we do a show every 2 weeks. Every fortnight when we do one of these programs, we always look around and go, Are you serious? Is there something out there that's just beyond the pale? Something that we cannot describe in the English language? It's just so wacky and fun.
Yeah.
And makes you say, you know, it's say on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the holy guacamole?
What the holy guacamole are you talking about?
Okay, this little dose of guacamole comes to you from the land down under. That'd be Australia if you don't know that. Wow, there's a great song. I'm going to name a singer here. Kylie
Minogue.
Minogue. She could walk in right now and say, "Hi, I'm Kylie Minogue," and I say, "I don't know who you are."
Oh, I know who she is.
I have no idea. This is so off my cultural radar. You'd be amazed.
I only know the one song, though.
I don't even know that song.
I can't remember the name of the song. But when it comes on, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was Kylie Minogue.
Okay, it's not the Lollipop Kids, is it? Because that was awkward.
No.
The Lollipop Kids. Okay, so anyway, she is the highest-selling female Australian artist of all time.
Wow.
I really did not know any of that.
I would never have known that.
But it's true.
That is craziness.
So here's what happens. Here's where the guacamole comes in. A tourist campaign was created by Tourism Australia. Mm-hmm. It's her in a 3-minute video. We've actually seen the video. It's kind of cute. It's nice. She is singing about the goodness of Australia. And the plan was, if you didn't see this in the United States, that's cool. This was planned to go to the United Kingdom, to England, Britain, what have you, to go there and to entice British travelers to come down to Australia to vacation.
Ah, cool.
It's a vacation video. It's
Sure.
nice. And she got $935,000 in talent fees.
Oh, my gosh.
Almost $1 million large. $1 million.
I don't even know what I would do with that kind of money. I'd travel more,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's like, what? I don't even know.
I'd upgrade to comfort class. So I'll be biggie sizing this meal, please. So she got $935,000. They make this 3-minute long ad, and it actually ran before. I didn't know this. The Queen does a Christmas message in the United Kingdom. Mm-hmm. It ran before and after the Queen's Christmas message. So everyone in Britain saw this thing.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
that's like a thing. Everybody watches this, right? Here's the thing. Now, remember, south of the equator, summer and winter are backwards. So it's winter for us in North America. It is summer down there in Australia. It
Okay.
just flips. We know that.
Right.
This ad ran, and then the summer bushfires hit in Australia.
Oh, my gosh.
Totally wiped out the tourism industry, and the ad was suspended.
It was so bad.
It was.
Oh.
So then they put out the fires. They're bouncing back. Okay, now it's fall. Still a lovely time to visit.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to do it again. The ad runs for 10 days. Then coronavirus COVID-19 hits.
Stop it right now. I can't
I'm
even.
laughing because it's so awful. I was like, you
It's
got to be
awful.
kidding me. So now COVID hits. There's no one traveling.
Right.
Airlines were shutting down flights. Resorts are having problems. Hotels can't book rooms. You name it, that happened. Australia basically comes like, well, we let go of Australia, but you can't go now.
Yeah.
So they pull that. Her contract has expired because June 2020, her contract for this expires. It's not clear if there's going to be ongoing commitments. As of this moment, it looks like she's keeping the cash.
Well, she did the job.
$935,000 for an ad
gosh.
campaign that basically never ran. It ran a little bit, but a fraction of what they were. I'm just like, what the holy guacamole? Look, I'll say that. You want to pay me $935,000 to promote your country or item or luggage? Let me know, and I'll stay with you till the bitter end. $935,000 for Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
And yeah, what the holy guacamole? Seriously, that much money, and yeah, I guess keep the money.
Well, yeah, because they thought that they were going to make money off of the ad,
Yes.
bringing in more tourism.
Yeah.
The projections there were probably pretty high and probably pretty realistic.
And it's a great ad,
based
actually. It
on
really is nice.
the fact that a lot of people want to go there.
Yeah.
And so they can't just say we're not going to pay you now because it didn't happen what we projected on our end.
Mm-hmm.
They paid her for a job.
Yes.
She did her job. The ad was made. Like that's her money now.
You know what? And Marie is speaking as someone who's worked in the film industry. I have not, but you've worked in the film industry. Here's the amazing thing. It's sort of like when you make, I see the parallel here that you bring to the table. If you're making a movie and it doesn't make any money,
Right.
you know,
still
hey,
don't not pay everyone.
Yeah, you still got paid, right?
It's a risk. I
Yeah.
mean, that's all of the entertainment industry.
It absolutely is. But wow, $935,000.
I mean, I worked on We Are Marshall, and it was a good movie to work on. I enjoyed everyone that I was around, and I had a great time. And they made what ended up being a pretty good product. But at first, I think I've told you about this. They cut it as a football movie.
Right.
And there's a totally different story there about a town and this heartbreaking thing that happens to the town and the people in the town. And so they had to go back and add more of the drama and more of that like storyline. And it took a lot of reshoots. And at first it was like, I think it was 30 million and is what it cost. And then after reshooting everything and kind of redoing it, I think it was 40 million. You could probably look this up on IMDb.
Boom.
But like, it was something like that. And everyone got paid. At the box office, I don't think it made more than, I think it only made 17 million, something.
Yeah.
You can look it up on IMDb.
It's not a blockbuster.
No, but it did, I think, recoup a lot in DVD. It went to DVD
Yeah,
after
it goes
that, and
foreign
like
and all that stuff.
streaming, and
Sure.
like, because here's the thing, like when we're teaching, I have students and they ask me, like they look me up or they find out that I've worked on stuff and they're like, oh yeah, I liked We Are Marshall. And that's shocking to me because at the box office, it didn't do very well. But a lot of them saw it not at the box office. A lot of them saw it.
Yeah.
They're sports fans. They see it as a sports film.
Right.
And so, you know, a lot of them have seen it and they enjoyed it. And I think it eventually did make its money back. But yeah, it's not like they didn't pay McConaughey. It's like you pay your people.
Yeah, they cash
And
the
then
check
you
and spend the
take
money.
the risk. Yeah. So that's how that works.
So absolutely. So good for her. You know.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. To her credit, I'm not bad mouthing Kylie, even though honestly I don't know who this is. The thing I don't. I watch the video. It's like, oh, she looks nice. That's great. I don't know. I don't know who this is.
Right.
I don't. But here's the thing. The video's really good.
Yeah.
It's a great job.
Was she also, never mind. I'm thinking of someone else. But yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah. So watch the video sometime. It's the Australian ad, Kylie Minogue, and type her name in on YouTube and go, oh yeah, that's what that looks like. It's a cute little ad. They did a great job.
Cool.
It's a shame it didn't go out further.
Yeah.
But these things happen.
Well, I had a really fun time talking about movies today.
Now I want to watch movies.
I'm sure we're going to get a lot of interaction.
Oh, we will.
People are very opinionated on movies.
Someone's going to fire back and say, hey, you jerk, what about Star Wars?
Right.
Jaws was set at the beach.
Right.
People go to the beach vacation like, oh,
Right.
get off my back. What do you want? You know, there's only
know.
so many movies to cram in here. But yeah,
True.
anyway, just to give you an overview, there's some great vacation/travel/tourism movies. Check them out sometime, especially if you can't travel. Just no reason why you can't live vicariously through a film.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
Normally on Voca Vacay, we say live vicariously through yourself. So we'll wrap it up with that. Live vicariously through yourself. And remember, whenever you're out there, have some fun. And you can follow us on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram, Twitter. And of
All
course,
the things.
And of course, because we're viral.
And, you know, vacation like it's your job when you can get back to it. And until then, watch some movies. But yeah.
And check us out, vocavacay.com, as always, the home base. Hey, thanks for playing along with us this time. And as always, we'll see you in 2 weeks. A new episode comes out in 2 weeks. And the reason it's 2 weeks is because you usually get a 2-week vacation. That's why it's a fortnight. So what do we say?
We'll
say,
see you in a
see you in a
fortnight.
fortnight. Love ya. Miss ya. Mean it. Bye.
Don't forget to click subscribe. As always, hashtag Voca Vacay at Voca Vacay and visit vocavacay.com.